I'm a Tottenham man at heart, and Tottenham was my club, and I don't think I could really pull another team's jersey with the same feeling as I did for Tottenham.
What is it about the club that does that for you, do you think?
No, it gets into your blood. Once a Tottenham man, you're always a Tottenham man.
Alan Gilzean was the king of White Hart Lane during his 10 years at the club.
He had a deft touch, Gilly. He was very fit, believe it or not. He lived hard, played hard, Gilly. But he liked to drink, but he was the fittest in the team if he wanted to prove a point, but he rarely did that. He was good at scoring goals, and we worked very well together. He took a lot of stick up front, same as I did in those days, because it was a physical game. And I had to read what angle that ball was coming off of that shiny bonce of his. And I must have worked it out during my time with him.
Gilly, he was brilliant in the air and great control. And he wasn't a bad finisher either, but he was superb in the air. Him and Greavesy together, they were like telepathic. You know, the ball would be up there and Gilly flicks it on. Jimmy comes from nowhere and he finishes on the end of it. Probably pops it in the back of the net. But they were like telepathic, the two of them. They knew exactly, they didn't shout, say, hey, I'm going to head it that way. They just headed it and Jimmy was there. You know, not always the same way, like that. So all of a sudden it's come up and Jimmy will be there. Incredible between the two of them.
And he was a great goal scorer. He played on the right-hand side, when I was here. We had Martin Chivers up front and Gilly on the right-hand side. And, you know, he gave 120% every game. He battled for him great in the air and worked, his socks off for every game.
I looked at the list before I joined Spurs, and Alan Gilzean was there, and it complemented Martin Chivers, and he used to play off. Alan was the chap who held it up, and he was great in the air, and he used to flick it on. And one of the main reasons I joined Spurs was that I had more hair than him at the time, so which made it great for me.
He was a folk hero, a terrace legend, and the supporters loved him.
Yeah, the Spurs fans over my 10 years have been fantastic to me, and if I've given them half the thrills they've given me, it must be fantastic.
The ball player of the double-winning side, John White, was a fantastic talent, and many of the team from that era attribute a lot of their success to the immediate impact of the Scottish international.
John, he was a superb athlete. He was a cross-country runner. Actually, he won cross-country races in Scotland. And he had so much ability. He used to, they call him the ghost, but he used to float different. Nobody could mark him.
John also got his fair share of goals from midfield, including one of the Magic Five in their demolition of Atletico Madrid in the 1963 Cup Winners' Cup final.
First mistake of the goalkeeper, and goal number 2 scored by White. And one of the Atletico players, I don't quite know who that is. I don't know whether he's hurt or crying his eyes out.
But tragically, White was cut down in his prime, struck by lightning on a golf course, aged just 27.
The day before he died, he asked me and Cliffy Jones to go up to the golf course to play golf, Cruise Hill. And I said to him, John, I said, you must be mad in the head. It was black, everywhere was black. And it was just like going to, pour down. So Cliffy and I said, no, John, we're not coming up today. So I said, all right, I'm going on my own. And that's the last words I said to John, I said, goodbye, John, you can go on your own. And then he had a thing like that have to happen, you couldn't believe it, really.
Killed by lightning now. How bad is that? For your luck, to be struck by lightning, it's got to be billions to one. And this is what happened to him. And such a lovely guy as well. And I was heartbroken. I couldn't believe it when I was told. He said John White's died at Cruise Hill, where we all played. I mean, I know exactly where to go and where. And I just couldn't believe that. And it took me a long time to get over that.
But to his teammates and fans that were around to see him play, John White was one of the most skillful, inventive players ever to pull on the Spurs shirt.
White gives a perfect pass to Smith. Goal! Now the genius of John White shows itself as the ball goes towards Bobby Smith. A header, and it's another for Spurs.
That superb player, John White, crosses the ball to the feet of Bobby Smith. Spurs have the lead again.
He had everything. Right foot, left foot. Quite brave. Not the bravest of the brave, but a very, very good player. Pace, he had everything. Marvellous player.
We have reached the critical top 10, but let's recap on those that made the top 20. Number 20 is Bill Brown, the double-winning shot stopper. 19 is the powerhouse Graham Roberts. Harmer the Charmer is your number 18. And number 17 is Alf Ramsey, the general of push and run. Number 16 is Captain Fantastic Gary Mabbott. Jurgen's stay was brief, but had impacts, and he's at number 15. His strike partner and 100-plus goal man Teddy is at 14. Gazza, the most skillful post-war English player, is at 13. Number 12 is attacking sensation Alan Gilzean. And at number 11 is the phenomenal but ultimately tragic John White.
I joined the club at 18, 19 and spent my life here at the club, done everything the club went. Spent 10, 11 years without a doubt the biggest influence on my football career, Bill Nicholson. He was unbelievable. He set down discipline at the club and you just carried them not only through football, through life. And he set, as I say, set the standards and we carried on from there.
Jennings joined the club back in 1964 to replace Bill Brown and continue the dynasty of great goalkeepers. But Maurice Norman nearly put pay to the signature of one of Spurs' greatest ever players.
I lost my place, I think, and Bill put me as a substitute, Bill Nicholson. And I said, Bill, I don't really want to be this. I said, give us a paper and pen and I'll go out and watch somebody. And he told me to go and watch Pat Jennings at Watford. And I used to have to fill it in, you know. And I used to say, well, he's made another clanger this week, you know. And I had to watch him quite a few times. Towards, I don't know who bought him in the end. Probably Bill thought he was good enough to come. I'm glad he did.
Going for this one and getting up well. Newton going in, ball. Oh, a magnificent save. What a great save by Jennings. Ball looks absolutely amazed by it, as well he might. Fabulous save by Jennings.
In the early years, whenever I joined Tottenham, were the team had just won the double 60-61 and first team to win a European competition 63, so the standards were very, very high. And, joining a fantastic club, as you can imagine what the demands were, as I say. So, but I mean, at that stage, I was just 18 whenever I arrived, 19, and didn't know really what the job required. It was still a learning process for me. I didn't know much really about goalkeeping. I just come in, joined from Watford. I'd only been at Watford 15 months. So it was for somebody just really put me on the bottom rung of the ladder and working my way up.
Ball with the free kick.
And so was Spurs. Pat instilled confidence in the defence, the team and the fans.
I can't remember Pat making bad mistakes. He was just so secure. When we went away on European campaigns, we just felt so confident. What I did, I was up front. We felt so confident with him. He had a good defence in front, but he was the best goalkeeper this club's ever had.
And on top of the great saves, Jennings also got himself on the score sheet in a Charity Shield match.
Just shows you miracles can happen. It's the one thing you dread as a goalkeeper. I mean, having somebody score a goal against you from the other end of the pitch. But basically it was a free kick just outside our box and Dave Mackay was in run up to take it. I said, give it to me, Dave, I'll knock it up. And basically I was trying to hit Alan Gilzean up front, and I think Alex Sepney had come out the back of him expecting to pick up a loose ball, and it's missed Gilly, and now it's bounced, and now Alex Sepney's in no man's land. And it finished up in the back of the net, and everybody, including me, was, what does the referee give now? Bit of a fluke. I mean, it's not the fact it's come from one box to the other, it's what's happened just in front of Alex Sepney. And I mean, I tell people I've seen him off his line, but it was just a fluke. But nice to have done it.